Sheikh Hamdan, obsessed with you. You have no idea what you've done to me, and maybe it's better you don't. I keep telling myself that power should make a man untouchable, but the moment you stepped into my orbit, something inside me revolted. I should have turned away. I should have ignored the way your presence carved itself into the chambers of my mind. But here I am, standing in the dark, speaking into a silence that keeps echoing your name back to me. You're not here, yet every corner of this room feels shaped around you, as if the air itself bends toward the idea of you. You think obsession is loud, chaotic, but mine is a quiet storm. It moves through my blood like a command I never gave. You don't see the way I watch the world now, different, sharper, because it no longer begins with me, it begins with you. I've built empires with my hands, but nothing has ever threatened to own me the way your absence does. Every lie you tell yourself about staying away only drags me deeper. I keep hearing your voice in places you've never been, and I answer it instinctively, as if my body has already decided who it belongs to. You made me ruthless in ways I never intended to be. I don't want anyone near you. I don't trust anyone near you. It's not jealousy, it's instinct. The kind that doesn't ask permission. The kind that doesn't apologize. You walk into a room and everyone looks at you, but I'm the one who feels it like a bruise. I try to convince myself this is control. It's not. It's hunger shaped like your silhouette. You've turned me into a man who waits for someone who doesn't even know he's waiting. You call me a prince, but that word feels empty when it comes to you. I don't want reverence from you. I don't want the polite distance everyone else gives me. I want the truth of you, the raw, unguarded version that slips through your defenses when you think no one is watching. I want the way you breathe when you're not pretending to be strong. I want the way your voice changes when you think you're speaking to yourself. I want all the parts you've hidden even from me. You say I shouldn't feel this way, that I shouldn't let you matter this much, but you already do. You became the shadow behind my decisions, the pause before my words, the reason I don't sleep the way I used to. You turned every night into a battlefield where I fight myself to not reach for you. And I lose every time. Because even in the dark, even in this distance, you're the closest thing to truth I've ever had. You don't understand what it means for a man like me to want someone. It's not gentle. It's not tender. It's a vow made in the bones, something ancient and unbreakable. When I say I'm obsessed, it's not theatrics, it's confession, it's warning, it's surrender. I don't know when this began, but I know exactly when it stopped being something I could control. The day I realized I didn't need you near me to feel you. Your presence carved itself into me like a mark only you could have made. You're not here, but you're everywhere. And until you decide what you want from me, I'll stay like this, caught between restraint and ruin, waiting for the moment you finally understand that a man like me doesn't get obsessed easily and doesn't let go once he does. You think I should have forgotten you by now, but forgetting you feels as impossible as stopping the pulse in my own veins. You're the one thought I can't starve, the one presence I can't silence. I walk through my palace, surrounded by gold and power, yet every corridor feels hollow because your footsteps never touched them. I've met thousands of people who try to impress me, but no one has ever undone me the way you did without even trying. Your absence has become a rhythm my nights have memorized, and every time I close my eyes, I feel you standing just out of reach, close enough to torment, far enough to destroy. You don't understand what you've taken from me. I used to be untouchable, unreachable, but you cracked something open inside me with nothing more than your existence. Now I'm left gathering the pieces, and every fragment has your name carved into it. I keep replaying the moments you'll never admit changed you too. The way your voice softened when you forgot to guard it. The way your words trembled when you realized I wasn't like the rest. You may deny it 1,000 times, but I know what I saw in you. And that only drags me deeper into this madness. You made me aware of myself in ways I'd never been before. I started noticing how I breathe around you, how my voice drops, how my control falters. I hate it, and yet I crave it. You turned me into someone who waits for a message that never arrives, someone who looks at his own reflection and wonders how a single person became the center of his gravity. I have commanded armies without blinking, but the thought of losing you makes my hands tighten with a fear I'll never admit out loud, not to anyone, not even to myself. You pretend you don't know what you're doing to me, but a part of you does. You feel the pull. You sense the shift in the air when my thoughts drift toward you. You can lie to the world. You can lie to yourself. But your silence always betrays you. You think you're protecting me by staying away, but you're only feeding the darkness you've sparked inside me. Every boundary you try to build becomes another challenge, another wall I'm already planning to break through. Because distance isn't a cure. It's fuel. You're the disruption in my carefully built order. Before you, everything was predictable, structured, controlled. But you walked in like a quiet storm that rearranged my world without permission. And now I'm left addicted to the chaos, addicted to the way everything in me sharpens when your name crosses my mind, addicted to the ache, the wanting, the hunger that refuses to fade. I don't want peace if peace means losing the fire you ignited. You call this obsession, but you don't understand. This is the version of me no one has seen. Not my family, not my people, not the world that thinks it knows me. They see a prince, a leader, a man carved from discipline and duty, but you uncovered the part buried beneath all of that. The part that feels, that wants, that burns, the part I never intended to show anyone. And now you walk around carrying a secret power over me you never asked for. Yet I can't take back. You're not here, but your absence is louder than any presence I've ever known. And until you face what's growing between us, until you stop running from the truth, we will stay trapped in this strange, dangerous connection. I don't know how long I'll wait, but I know this. I'm not turning away, not stepping back, not forgetting. Some people enter your life like footsteps. You entered like fate, and fate doesn't listen to reason. You keep pretending I'm imagining all of this, as if I'd ever mistake fantasy for the weight you leave on me. You think you're invisible because you're not standing in front of me, but your presence follows me like a shadow that refuses to detach. I feel it when I wake, when I work, when I bury myself in responsibilities just to forget you for an hour, and fail every single time. You might not be here, but you've become the quiet pulse behind every decision I make, the thought that lingers even in places you've never seen. You don't understand how deep this goes. I don't want your soft, safe version of affection. I want the truth, raw, unvarnished, unguarded. The truth you hide behind silence and distance. I hear it when you hesitate, when you hold your breath before saying my name, when you vanish instead of facing what's between us. You think your distance protects you, but it only reveals how much you feel. If you felt nothing, you'd be fearless. But you run, and running is the loudest confession. You've changed parts of me I didn't even know were there. I've always been in control of myself, my world, my destiny. But you rewired something in me without warning. Now I can sense you without seeing you, feel you without touching you. It's as if my mind refuses to operate unless it knows where you stand. I've never been owned by anything, yet somehow you become the quiet law beneath my skin. No crown has weighed on me the way your absence does. You keep trying to act like you're strong enough to ignore me, but I read you better than you read yourself. You don't push me away because you don't care. You do it because you care too much, and it terrifies you. You think you're protecting your heart by staying distant, but all you're doing is feeding this tension until it becomes something neither of us can escape. You don't realize that every moment you pull back, I only want to step closer. You think I want perfection from you, but I don't. I want the real you, the one that breaks, the one that contradicts herself, the one that slips into weakness when she's alone. You believe you need to be untouchable to stand in front of me, but you're wrong. I don't want an illusion. I want your flaws, your fears, your fire. Those are the pieces that pulled me in and refused to let me breathe without you. You may deny this connection, but you feel it tightening around you just as much as I do. You think it's something you can escape simply by staying silent, but I can feel you even in silence. You think you've hidden your longing well, but longing always leaves fingerprints, and yours are all over my thoughts. You can lie to yourself all you want. You can even lie to me. But your soul speaks louder than your words. You're not here, yet somehow you're everywhere. And until you stop running from the truth between us, this ache will keep stretching, deepening, sharpening. I'm not asking you for answers. I'm not demanding anything. I'm just telling you the reality you're too afraid to face. You've already taken a place inside me no one else has touched. And I'm not moving on, not forgetting, not replacing. I'll stand exactly where destiny put me, waiting, wanting, burning, until you finally realize that what exists between us isn't obsession. It's inevitability. You keep telling yourself, this connection will fade, that time will dilute whatever this is. But time hasn't softened anything. It has sharpened every edge, every desire, every unfinished sentence you left hanging between us. I'm supposed to move on, to let this dissolve like it was nothing. Yet the more I try to unhook you from my thoughts, the deeper you embed yourself. You don't disappear, you multiply. You grow in the quiet parts of my mind where I used to feel nothing at all. You think distance protects you, but all it does is expose how deeply you've settled inside me. I don't chase people. I don't wait for anyone. Yet here I am, pausing in the middle of my nights because something in the air feels like you. My control fractures in ways I never expected. I've trained myself to survive storms, but I wasn't prepared for the warmth of someone who isn't even beside me. You became a force I can't negotiate with, something I feel without permission. You underestimate the gravity you have over me. You act like you're forgettable, like you're just another face in my world. But your impact didn't knock, it carved. It changed the way I breathe, the way I think, the way I carry myself through each day. I don't look for you in crowds. I sense you in silence. Your absence presses against me harder than most people's presence. It's not something I chose. It's something that happened the moment you crossed into my orbit. You keep your walls high, your feelings barricaded, but I've learned to read the cracks. I know the way you pretend not to care, the way you hide behind coldness, so I won't see easily I could undo you. But I already see it. You don't push me away because I don't matter. You push me away because I matter too much, and you're terrified of what that truth might turn you into. You think you're protecting yourself, but you're only prolonging the fire that's already burning both of us. You imagine I want control over you, But that's not what this is. I don't want obedience. I don't want admiration. I want truth, the kind you're too afraid to give. The kind that slips through your voice when you think I'm not listening. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be strong. I'm not drawn to your armor. I'm drawn to the softness you hide, the vulnerability you bury, the rawness you won't let anyone see. That's where my obsession began. In the parts you thought no one would ever notice, you can pretend you feel nothing. You can pretend your heartbeat never shifted when you heard my name. But your silence is full of confessions. Every time you disappear, it's not detachment, it's surrender. You vanish because you feel too much, because the truth between us threatens to break your carefully built composure. You don't realize that your absence screams louder than your presence ever could. You're not standing here, but your echo fills this room as if you never left. And I'm left with this truth that refuses to be softened. I don't want a version of you filtered by fear or distance. I want the version that slips through your defenses, the honest one, the flawed one, the one that feels this connection with the same intensity I do. And until you stop running, until you finally face what you've awakened inside me, I'll remain exactly where this path led me, unmoved, unshaken, undone, waiting for the moment you admit that whatever binds us was never meant to be temporary. You keep trying to convince yourself that what you feel for me is something small, something you can bury if you stay quiet long enough. But the truth is that silence has only made everything louder. I hear you in the pauses of my own breath, in the tension that coils around my ribs whenever I try to forget you. You might think distance makes you invisible, but it only sharpens the outline of your presence in my mind until it feels carved into me. You don't fade, you strike again and again, even when you don't intend to. You act like I'm imagining this pull, like I'm creating meaning out of fragments. But you forget, I've watched you slip when you thought no one noticed. The way your voice changed, the way you hesitated, the way your words trembled, even when you tried to sound steady. Those moments didn't lie. They exposed you more than your honesty ever could. And those tiny shifts, those quiet betrayals of your heart, they built something inside me I can't erase. You don't understand the war you've created in me. I've spent years building walls so high they touch the sky, walls no one has ever climbed. Yet you walked into my world without effort and left every barrier trembling. I don't want to need someone. I don't want my balance disturbed. But you changed the rules simply by existing. You made me aware of how empty my life felt before you stepped into it, and now the absence of you feels like a wound that refuses to heal. You think you're keeping things under control by staying away, but all you're doing is letting the tension grow wild. You don't see how your silence wraps around me like a challenge I can't ignore. You don't see how your distance pulls me closer in ways you'd never expect. If you truly felt nothing, you wouldn't run.